Alrighty. Hello everybody. Welcome to the weekly Q&A. I'm excited to be back on with you guys. Today we're streaming from Periscope. What's up? Hello everybody. Not in Cancun. No, I will share more on that in a minute. We're also streaming from my personal Facebook Live profile. So if you guys want to go over to Facebook, if Periscope drops a signal or whatever, or if you'd like to be part of the conversation over on Facebook, you can head over to my personal profile on Facebook. But welcome everybody. I'm excited to be with you. I haven't been on in a couple of weeks. We took some time off with the holidays. And hi Laura. We took some time off, so I'm back on. I won't be here next week. I'll be on a flight back to Florida with my little fam jam. But nice to see you guys on live this morning. I guess it's this afternoon. I've had a busy morning, like many of you. Just did a workout downstairs in the basement, ran up, made my smoothie. I'm hopping on and excited to pour into you guys for about 45 minutes here this morning. So welcome. For those of you that are new to the broadcast, my name is Ange Peters and I am the founder of WholeFit. I live in Canada and I'm a presidential diamond leader with doTERRA. I am a health and business coach, a mom of 2 girls, and I attract and work with people who are very interested in taking ownership of their life, of their health, of the results. I'm not interested in working with people that aren't. So anyway, a lot of you are here because that's likely you as well. I wanted to say hi to my friends who are in Cancun right now. Some of you are joining. You're probably on a beach sipping something delicious. It's probably not a green smoothie. Cheers. So I was supposed to be on a beach right now in Cancun. Save your questions for the end, you guys. I have a topic today I'll tell you about in just a moment, but save your questions. Hi, Greg Cook from China. So cool to have Greg Cook on, one of our executives at doTERRA. So I was supposed to be in Cancun. I had won a trip with doTERRA, and so we were excited to go, and we found out last week that our childcare fell through. We had my mother-in-law set up to watch the kids and she got really sick. So we had to cancel our trip. And what's really interesting about this, if you caught my 2017 planning session, you would have heard me say on there that one of the things I wanted to experience more of this year is JOMO. Any guesses on what JOMO means? Those of you who caught the broadcast, you'll know what this is. So we know what FOMO is, right? Well, I put it out there that I wanted to experience more JOMO. Yeah, so we've got some people commenting on Periscope, which was the joy of missing out. And then literally a couple days, it was like I literally manifested that. And it's not that I wanted to miss out on being in Cancun, but I do trust that everything is always happening for us. And we actually had a couple of things come up this week with my oldest daughter. She's been having a hard time in school, so you know, I'm grateful for the extra time to have conversations with her and snuggle time, but next year we'll be there with our kids. So we're gonna just plan that to happen. Okay, so let's dive in. If you were on Instagram, you saw my post on Monday, which is labeled as Blue Monday, okay? Not that we subscribe to labels, right? But for some people, they may feel a little bit blue this time of year. You know, and what I'm specifically speaking to here is not something that has been diagnosed or is perhaps something chronic. Obviously, you know, if that's something that's coming up for you, I trust you're seeking help with that. But for 80% of people, the 3rd week of January, specifically the first Monday of that 3rd week, represents a feeling of overwhelm and weariness and discouragement that perhaps we're not taking root in some of the goals or resolutions we had set our hearts on at the beginning of the year. This concept of Blue Monday was actually created back in 2005. So there was a press release that was sent out and it calculated all these factors, you know, taking into account weather, a lot of people not getting enough sun on their skin, right? Debt, so a feeling of financial unwellness after the holidays, right? Of perhaps overextending ourselves with gifts and and buying too many things on credit cards. So that starts to creep in. Unsuccessful resolutions. So 80% of people by this third week of January have already quit on themselves. So there is that feeling of like, we start telling ourselves this story that I don't follow through with things. I can't make changes in my life. This talk starts to creep in right now. And so this algorithm is in place for a lot of people where they start to feel discouraged. So I wanted to talk about a couple things today with you that feed that feeling, and then give you some of my best tips for what I do when I'm feeling that way or discouraged. And trust me, I'm just like you. We all have those times in our life where we feel like we're not getting traction on something we know in our heart we need to be doing. And sometimes we just need to practice the art of resting without quitting, right? So I want to share some of my tips with you. So first of all, what feeds this feeling in our life? And I would love to make this a conversation. This is why I prefer these broadcasts as opposed to doing podcasts, because we can have a conversation around this. So I see lots of comments coming in on Facebook and Periscope. Please share your thoughts. But when I think about what feeds this feeling, number one and most important is who we're surrounding ourselves with. So if you are in direct contact with people most days of the week that have an attitude of quitting, that are discouraged, and we might even label them as somebody who leans more towards a toxic approach in life, where they have a lot of limitations. Their whole, everything about them is I can't, or maybe there's somebody who, they want to have success, but they use a lot of words like I hope. Like they don't take ownership of their life. And if we're surrounded by people who have this perspective in life, we adopt a lot of that, right? And sometimes we can't choose these people we're around all the time. Of course, your family, you can't choose your family, right? But you can choose your circle that is directly around you. Hi, Kirk. I'm not in Cancun. I know. You all on the beach in Cancun need to stop reminding me that I'm not in Cancun. So anyway, go have a nice drink for me. So we really want to take inventory of who are we giving our time to. Spend that with intention. Reach out to a friend who inspires you and encourages you. Be around encouraging people. Even if you can find that one person, and some of you might even be hanging out here on this broadcast. This is why I love social, because you can connect with people who are like you and have goals like you. And sometimes those are the only people we have are in the online space. This is why community today is so powerful, right? So, take inventory of who you're giving your time to, number one. Don't let their stories become your story. Surround yourself with people who are go-getters, with people who, are committed to moving the needle every day, right? It's not about perfection. It's not about, doing everything we said we're going to do on January 1st, 2017. It's about making a little bit of progress every day and having an attitude of knowing that you can. Those are the kinds of people you want to be surrounding yourself with more of. And I can assure you, you will find that in this space for sure. Second thing that feeds a lot of this overwhelm and discouragement is too much sugar. So I don't know how many of you track your your intake, your nutrition intake, but maybe it's a good time for you to check in on this because maybe one of your goals is to lose some weight this year, or to have more energy to be able to play with your kids. And actually today, if you go over to DoTERRA.com, I'm going to be doing a broadcast with them today on healthy weight management, and I'm going to talk about strategies to know what we're intaking on a daily basis and how to work with that equation to achieve more of our goals. The American Heart Association recommends you don't have more than 25 grams of sugar a day. If you have even one can of pop, you've basically nailed it. So what you want to check in with is sugar feeds the feeling of franticness in our body. It feeds the feeling of being out of control. And so part of the issue with feeling happiness and accomplishment is actually what we're feeding our body, okay? If you guys hop over to doTERRA.com, I see some questions about the broadcast today. Go to doTERRA.com and you'll see a magnifying glass. You can search Empowered Life Series, and you're going to see the registration to sign up for the webinar today. This month is all about healthy weight management. There were recordings from last month and the month before. DoTERRA does these every month, so I partnered up with them this month because one of my passions is helping people take control of their physical health, okay? So yeah, go check that out for sure. But sugar, you know, one of the things I'm going to talk about in the webinar today is using tools like MyFitnessPal. You can get it on your phone, right? And you can track your intake and really get to know what you're putting in your body and how it's making you feel so that you can make better decisions around that. Now, on the food category as well, processed foods and unhealthy fats. Those foods, so you guys, I'm sure a lot of you know this already, but the food you're eating today is literally building the body that you have a month to 6 months from now, okay? All of your organs regenerate using the raw materials you're giving it today. So for some of you, you're feeling the after effects of choices you made in November, okay? When things started to get a little crazy around the holidays, maybe you're eating a lot of sugar and not so healthy choices in our food. That has created the body you're living in right now. Something really cool to think about, right? So as you think about making changes and what's going to really take root, you want to be aware of the ingredients you're giving your body to create the you that's coming, okay? Chemicals. We talk a lot about that on here. A lot of you come to this broadcast because you're very aware of the chemicals in your life. You are likely using tools such as doTERRA, essential oils, to clean up your overload of that, right? So chemicals that we're breathing in and chemicals on our skin, I want you to think about them as energy suckers, okay? Your body's main currency is energy. So basically, anything that is burdening your systems, your digestive system is the heaviest burden on your energy, on your currency in your body. But if you are breathing in chemicals, maybe you use perfume, maybe you have a lot of air fresheners in your home. So it's like this, you're unaware. You're living unconscious to all these chemicals that are in your home, right? Until you start to learn more and do better. That's there in the environment. We're breathing that in. It's robbing us of our body's energy, okay? The second thing is what you're putting on your skin, right? A good majority of the ingredients that you're putting in your skin are entering your bloodstream and therefore creating the body that you live in, okay? So this is why knowing the products you're putting in your skin and beginning, and maybe for a lot of you this year is going to be the year where you make little changes over time that create big shifts in your life. And this is a key strategy. You don't want to take it all on at once, right? So if you want to live in a healthier home, you're not going to say that you're going to get up every day at 5 a.m. and work out and you're going to get rid of all the toxins in your home and you're going to eat 5 cups of greens a day and 20 grams of sugar. You're not going to do that all in 1 month, right? So you pick one thing to make shifts in. When we welcome people into our essential oil community, one of the things that we advise is that you pick one area. Maybe it's greening up your home, getting rid of the fragrance and moving towards having a diffuser in most rooms of your home and using oils. You just do that for 1 month. Then in the next month, maybe we look at what you're actually putting in your body. Whole foods and supplements. doTERRA supplements are so high vibe, high quality. They're incredible. I'm going to talk about that in a moment a little deeper. But you know, you don't want to take on change all at once, and that might be what's feeding the overwhelm in some of you. So reel it back. Pick one thing. What's one thing? I want to hear from you guys. What is one thing you're working on right now that you're wanting to move the needle in? Just one. Don't share them all. I know you have big goals. I've got my 2017 board to my left here, but to the other column on my board is 2016. All the things I've accomplished before I start going into all the things I want to do this year. So drinking more water, alkalizing, yoga every day, meditation, these are great ones, connecting with the universe regularly or God, incorporating more whole foods, getting up at 6:30 to do yoga, love it. Drinking more water, I love that. That is the biggest thing you guys can do in your health. Tamara said eating healthier. I would like you to be more specific. What does eating healthier mean? Drill it down so it's so specific and basic that you actually do it. Yeah, so Chelsea said green cleaners, being more present, said Lindsay on Facebook. Cutting out sugars, using my oil. So, Brittany, publishing my children's story. I love that. So I'd like you guys to look at what you wrote here and ask, how specific is it? That if you were to actually tell someone else what you're doing, would they understand what that even means? Make it so specific and basic that you actually do it, okay? So Veronica said getting outside. So what time are you getting outside? What are you doing when you get outside? And what's going to excite you to get outside? What's the trigger, right? So think about how basic you can make it. Now, the last thing I want to say that feeds the overwhelm is staying up too late. How many of you get caught in that cycle? I know I do, where I feel like, you know, the kids go to bed and then I want to reward myself with some time. And that's okay some nights, but you want to check in on, is that serving you? Because if you wake up in the morning and you have, you know, and I have mornings like this too, where I wake up and I feel like it's this like rat race in the morning. I'm getting up at the same time as my kids, which is usually 7 o'clock. That doesn't work, right? For a successful day. So maybe that's something you want to look at this year. Rock on, Isaiah. She wants to be platinum mid-year with doTERRA. That's super cool. So maybe something you look at is your sleep schedule. Your sleep feeds your ability to be in control of your day tomorrow. So taking a look at that, high quality. For some of you, it's not 8 hours. For some of you, it's 6 hours, but it's high quality. So maybe share in the comments if you have a nice routine that you do to help you fall asleep. I know for myself, it's my oils. It's having some snuggle time with my kids. It's turning the Wi-Fi off in the home. So I have a couple of things that I do that trigger that healthier sleep. Serenity soft gels, somebody mentioned. How many of you have tried those? They are amazing. My husband loves them. Come on in. That was such funny timing. Do you like the Serenity soft gels?
Love the soft pills. Yeah.
Soft pills.
Whatever.
This is my husband, Chris. Come on in. Periscope's up here. Okay. So I just talked about things that feed overwhelm and weariness this time of year. Do you have anything to add? You didn't hear what I said, but maybe you'll have something to add for tips.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I wanted to go through with you like 5 or 6 quick tips, okay, on how you can feel more in control and shift the vibe of what you're feeling at this time of year. So number 1, get outside, go for a walk, right? Get some sun on your skin if it is. I know I'm looking out my window right now. It's super dismal, kind of depressing looking, right?
Yeah, it is.
So, but just getting outside and breathing in the power of nature is super helpful. Now, sun on your skin is actually really important this time of year, which is why if you're not in an area that has sun, like our friends in Cancun right now, you want to get vitamin D3, okay? So vitamin D3 you can buy in drops. I don't remember to take this every day, but it's the one thing that I do add to the supplements I take that doTERRA has in the winter. Okay, so you want to get about 3,000 IUs is generally a good, safe amount for an average person. Supplementing with omega-3s as well. Yeah, boo Saskatchewan. I bet you're even colder than we are here. Omega-3s are important. How many of you take doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality System? It's incredible. It is such a powerful baseline. You need to give it 2 weeks to work its way into your body and again, start recreating the body you live in. But the Lifelong Vitality System, honestly, it's a non-negotiable, I think, for the vast majority of people. Because it creates a baseline that, again, your body, when you fill in the gaps of what it's needing, it creates a foundation for you. Everyone's saying hi from Cancun. It's no fair.
Get off the computer. What are you doing on the computers? Get
I know,
in the sun.
if we were there, you would not be letting me broadcast.
Yeah, no one would be broadcasting.
But hello, Cancun. So omega-3s are really important because your brain is heavily made up of the fats that you're eating in your diet, okay? So you do not want to be consuming packaged foods with trans fats. That's literally forming the brain, which is creating how you perceive your world, okay? Jump in anytime, but I wanted to mention oils. So here in this group, a lot of you use doTERRA essential oils. There's some great comments coming up on Facebook and on Periscope. I'd love to hear from you what you do to shift your vibe like that, like super quick in the moment. On a basic level, majority of you in this group will have these 2 oils. I didn't want to get into any of the ones that most people don't have. Peppermint and wild orange together. Want to be my Vanna?
Yeah.
So here's what I love to do in the moment. I will often do this in the afternoon when I'm feeling in a funk. I'll just take 1 drop of each. Rub the hands together, cup your nose, and deeply inhale. And I want you to think about what you're trying to channel. More energy in your body. This is extremely invigorating.
Victory.
Oh my gosh. You're really cheesy. So, but that's awesome,
Yeah,
right? Like it's super invigorating. And again, this is why doTERRA's oils are so powerful because you're not breathing in an imitation, okay? You're breathing in the real plant. Nature knows what's up, you guys. Nature knows, and when we breathe in a pure plant, a very different chemical reaction happens than if you breathe in an imitation essential oil. Like if you're buying your oils at the health food store, you have no idea what's going in them. You can monitor those questions.
Yeah.
So I love this combination. I diffuse it in the morning. I love it. My house often smells like this if you were to come over in the morning for coffee. Now the one other tool I want to mention is doTERRA's emotional aromatherapy kit. Tap the screen if you guys use this and know how to use it, because I think it's just so brilliant. You can buy this as a kit. So here you see it here. It's 6 specific blends that you can use to identify how you're feeling and how you want to feel. Okay? So I'm just want to read some of your comments. Peace has my heart. Hi, Kim. Hi, Christine. Emotional kit rocks. Love you, girl. I've got to write you back. Yeah, this kit is brilliant. Every home should have this. So one of the things that we like to do with the girls when they come home from school, I'm having a hard time
Or
staying
before
on
school, yeah.
Yeah, is we'll often let them choose their oil. My daughter's been having a tough time at school this week, so we actually put a little aromatherapy bracelet on her with her blend that's going to help her just in the moment. She just smells her little bracelet, and it helps her connect to happier thoughts, happier feelings. We even talked about a little affirmation she could use while she's at school, breathing it in. So it's powerful. Kids know, right? Kids know what smells good, what feels good in their body. So try this with your kids. Even let them smell the oils and choose their oil that's going to help them connect and feel more grounded. But what I love about this, there's a wheel that's in the lid of the box. You can, if you identify how you're feeling and then how you'd actually like to feel, you can find the corresponding blend. Okay, and there's a lot of comments coming in Periscope, just experiences that people have had. So you might want to go back and check those out, you guys. They're amazing. But, you know, if you identify what you're wanting to feel more of, maybe it's more passion in your life. You take the passion blend, you might put it in your diffuser. You can buy these oils in diluted form, okay? They come in a roller bottle, diluted with coconut oil. So if I was going to give this to one of my daughters, we might roll it on the back of their neck or base of their skull. But you could diffuse the pure ones, okay? And tell yourself a positive affirmation so that you're literally reworking the brain as you're breathing in this powerful oil. You guys realize that essential oils are so much more than a pretty scent, right? It's not about that. There's actually a very powerful reaction happening in the body. You know, I'm curious to hear from some of you. What is your most powerful memory with scent? I've shared this before, but if a man ever walks past me wearing the cologne that my dad wore, I could just drop and bawl. Like it creates this, I'm instantly transported to being a child, you know? There's some sense I have no idea why I like the smell of gasoline. I have no idea why I like that smell, but I don't know. Must have some kind of powerful memory connected to my childhood. Okay, want to roll through these quick. I'd love to keep hearing from you guys on what works for you, but another thing I like to do when I'm feeling in a funk and overwhelmed is just to help someone else. So to be honest, I was really discouraged to not be in Cancun this week. I was really sad to have to make that decision last week to cancel the trip. But then what I decided to do was I looked at my week of open space this week and I thought, well, where can I give back? So like this broadcast is a way that I love to give back most weeks. I had a few of my leaders over to our house yesterday. We had just a nice informal get together. You know, went out for lunch. You know, I was able to look at my week and I got some things done, but I looked at it, I thought, where could I help people this week? Where can I give back? And that helped me pull myself out of that feeling sorry for myself kind of mood, right? Okay, last one I'll mention. I've got a couple I wrote down. Let me know if you have anything to add. Okay, the last one I think I'll mention is change your scenery. Move your furniture, get a new haircut, new hair color or something. If you change up your environment, you feel inspired to create, right? And sometimes we get so stuck, like feeling like everything looks the same or is the same, and that's where we feel a bit tired of our environment. So a little thing like moving furniture in your house or moving your desk from one wall to the other and creating life in your environment, especially if you work from home, is a great idea. Maybe you go out and you get a haircut or you color your hair and just have a fresh you for the new year. You're going to be inspired. And the last thing I want to mention, and if you have any tips, please share. You are a 3-part being. So you are physical, emotional, and spiritual. And what I wanted to really focus on with this topic is the importance of not going overboard in one of these areas. Some people get so gung-ho focused on their physical health at the start of the year that they become disconnected from the other two parts of their being, the spiritual health, the emotional side of them. And they force this goal to happen around their physical health, and they lose the other two parts of themselves, and then they don't feel whole. So to feel fulfilled and to feel complete, you need to give time to each of these parts of your being. So go back and watch. If you go to my personal Facebook page, my profile, you'll see the 2017 planning video that I did, where I guided you guys through checking in with the different aspects of your life and really thinking about what you would like to have more of in those areas so that you can continue to move through this year feeling whole. And so go back and give that a watch if you'd like. Do you have anything you want to add to how to pull yourself out of?
I think one of the biggest things for myself is changing your environment. And like Ann said too, one of the other big things is if you do have a goal, don't go overboard just on that. You have to find more than just that. So like if your goal is, like Ann said, like is to lose weight or get in better shape, do that. But take the time at night to read something that's going to help you mentally or emotionally. And I'm not big on using those words as well, but I think we all understand that it's one of those things that when you look back on it, that time that you set that goal, you'll find that really actually helped. Like everyone gets that mentality of like, I'm just going to go, especially this time of year when it's, the new year and everyone's got this goal and they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Mm-hmm. You're going to burn out. That's just the way it goes. You're going to burn out. You're going to, whether it be 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, you're going to burn out. So just be aware that you're going to need something else, another outlet, even if it's going to a movie once a week or going out with your husband or your wife, or you take your kids out or something. You always have to have something else to look forward to that doesn't involve that one goal, because then you're going to get obsessed with it and you're just going to burn out. And some people it takes longer, some people it's too short, and usually the people that are too short, they just give up and quit. And what started out as a great plan now is gone, and then you're just going to get discouraged with yourself. So always be aware that there's more out there than what you really want to do. So
I love that. Like we said, I mentioned earlier, practice resting without quitting. Know when it's time to take a day off, shut down the computer, walk away from it all. We have talks about this all the time.
Yeah.
Where sometimes I feel stuck and I can feel that next level coming, but I know that the current state I'm in and what I'm doing is not going to get me there. So sometimes I literally need to just close it down, walk away from it all and get clear, go to the mall, go sit at a cafe, watch a movie, just check out so that I can be revisited by what I need to do next and get inspired.
And I think one of the things that everyone knows is when you're done. Like everyone knows when you're done, you're tired or you're burnt out from something. It's inside them, it's in their head, it's in their gut. Like I said, I'm a big, like you have to go with your gut, and everyone knows when it's time to shut everything down, whether that be shut your phone down, shut it right off, or take a break from your wife or your kids or whatever, because you just know, like deep inside, it's time to shut it down. Or when you get that anxious feeling and then you start going towards like stuff you usually don't eat and everything, that's the time that it's time to just let up. And It's okay to let off the gas sometimes, because we all can't redline all the time. It's one of those things that in your heart and in your head and in your gut especially, that it's time to back off and just take a break. And there's nothing wrong with taking a break. There's nothing wrong with
it's healthy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with just forgetting everything. And like one of the big things I always do is, I'm not a very popular guy with my phone, but I'll just turn it off, because I find myself when I'm losing focus, I'll start looking at stuff that I have no interest in, reading the news all the time, and it's just things like that. And then I start getting that feeling in my stomach, and it's just one of those things that I just know. So everyone has that button in them that they know it's time to shut it down.
Yeah, and staying off of Facebook, like Ashley said, social media really eats at our focus, and that addiction to distraction causes us to feel super stuck and lose creativity. So hope some of that served you. I know just before this broadcast I mentioned I did a really quick workout downstairs, and one of the things that Chris does almost like effortlessly gets to the gym every day. He, gets up early, goes to the gym every day. So moving in your body creates movement in your life as well. So I wanted to add that tip as well. So anyway, let's move into a couple of rounds of Q&A. If you guys want to continue on this topic, we certainly can. Some of you are saying that it's a little choppy on Facebook, so we're on Periscope as well if you want to hop over. Pardon?
Can you brighten that up? I can't see that.
Brighten Facebook?
The phone.
Oh, I will next time. Sorry, it's too late.
Oh.
Okay, so Jill, my assistant's pulling questions for us. Thanks for posting the link to Facebook there, Jill. Okay, first question. Coconut milk or almond milk, good substitutes for dairy for 1-year-olds? Honestly, you'll want to research this on your own. Through all of the research I've done, I believe that dairy does not serve us. So unless you have access to raw milk, and some of you in the US will, that can have helpful benefits to the body. But one of the things to consider, in North America, we are the highest consumers of dairy products, which are touted as helping us build healthy, strong bones, right? That's the message we're fed with our kids especially. And yet, as a continent, we have the highest rates of osteoporosis. So something's not working. And what we know about dairy is it's very acidic. It creates an acidic body, okay? So when you're looking at alternatives, you can get calcium through greens. One of the things I did with my girls when they were first starting on foods is I would make them a smoothie where I would blend in some greens. Yeah, I would use some sort of a non-dairy milk, like almond milk is great, coconut milk is great, just to give it that nice base, right? And almond milk does have calcium as well. And then I would add in some omega-3 oil. I use doTERRA's the orange oil, because it doesn't taste like fish. They love it. So I would add that in, and then I would add some hemp hearts or something for protein, okay? And I would sometimes add a banana or some frozen berries or whatever to sweeten it up. So that's what I did in the beginning. What you will find, and as you become a parent, there are a lot of things that you have to look at and ask, what is the agenda behind the agenda? So when you look at the things like the Canada Food Guide or the plate in the US, there are people lobbying to have parts of that food guide on there. So when you see 2 to 3 cups of milk a day for your child, start to ask some questions about why that is. And then you can make a better decision for your child. And, what we know is that so many kids today are having problems with allergies, skin issues like eczema, and when we remove dairy from the diet, we see it greatly improve. So, try different things with your kids, but we know that dairy is not building stronger bones. We would have a different result with osteoporosis if that was the case, okay? Yeah, someone said no other mammal drinks past infancy. If you can nurse and breastfeed your child until about a year and a half, great. I know some women are not able to do that. There are lots of great formulas popping up on the market. Okay. Cool. So Karen gets raw milk. That's awesome. Okay, so question on Facebook Live. Sarah asked how to inspire your team to take action. Super simple answer. Be a leader who takes action. Your team will always mirror what you do. So if you yourself, as a leader of your team, are not finding ways to stay inspired and be in your zone of genius, that will duplicate down. You want to be mindful of your own action. And so if you're feeling stuck as a leader, that's going to translate to your team. And know that the team you're working with today, you may have a couple of leaders you're starting to build your business with. They might not be the same leader as you have tomorrow. Because there are a large majority of people, you guys, they want to be successful. They hope to be successful, but they're not willing to do the things to be successful. So this is why people will say, they will talk, but follow the people that move with their feet in your team. It's not about it's not about pulling people and feeling handcuffed to people on your team who say or talk a good game. There will be a ton of those people that come along, but every once in a while you will have somebody who takes action. They move with their feet. Your calls with them will be very different, because your calls with them will be them telling you all of the things they are up to create movement in their business and in their life. And you are their mentor and their guide because you're doing the same. You're doing the things that your team needs to see you doing so that they can be inspired. When I see a leader get stuck or their team surpassing them, this happens. I've had it happen in my team where further below, somebody has outranked the leader. When I see that happen, it's evident. I mean, the numbers always tell the story. It's evident that that leader in some area of their life has stopped taking action, has stopped feeling inspired, and further down, someone else has grabbed the reins. I think it was just refreshing. So that's my quick answer to that.
So what was the question?
The question was, how do you inspire your team to take action?
Oh. Well, my personal opinion is there's no team without leadership. So you have to be the one that inspires your whole team. Whether you like it or not, you've taken that role on. And don't get discouraged with everyone because they're not on your level or where you think they should be. You have to find a way to make them work for you. And I don't mean work for you as an employee, but you have to find whatever their role is or whatever their capability is and work with that. So, you know, if you're going to take that job as a leader and you call yourself a leader, then own that position.
I liked what you just said there. If you call yourself a leader, that is so good, because leadership, we did a call yesterday, my team and I, with John Maxwell through this 15 laws of growth. And one of the things he said on there is, someone asked him once, is leadership a responsibility? How did he word the question? It was so good. One second. Do I have it here? I do. He said, someone asked John Maxwell, do you feel like leadership is a burden? So, like, you call yourself a leader. Do you feel like it's a burden? And he said, absolutely, yes. It is a burden. Leadership is a burden because you have to be somebody committing to showing up, right? Yeah. If you call yourself a leader, you have to be someone who takes action. Otherwise, the other leaders on your team are going to emerge. The real leader will always bubble up.
And I think in the world that we live in now, too, again, where everything's on social media, and I always go back to this, Angie and I have these talks all the time, is with social media, Instagram, Facebook, everything, anyone can be anything they want to be. Anyone can be a superhero, and again, we're talking about leadership. Anyone can call themselves a leader in their little title on the top of Instagram or their Facebook. But it's when it comes down to actually doing the job and doing the work, that's when you're a leader. And I think so many times people get caught in this, it's almost become a throwaway word of leadership and leader and ownership and everything else. Be the person that actually owns that word. Really look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I a leader, or am I just saying I'm a leader because I might have people under me? Or I'm at this rank, so that means I'm automatically a leader because so-and-so, they're at that rank and they're calling themselves leader. Like, if you want to own that word, then own your responsibility to do that job. And I'm always a big proponent of, like, if you got a job to do, you do it 100%. Whether it be, if you have to clean the toilets at work, clean those toilets at work 100% and be the best at it. If you want to be a leader in whatever organization you're in, then be a leader at whatever, be the best leader that you can be. And again, I go back to this whole thing in your head and in your gut. You know when you're slacking, you know when you're not really doing the job right. And go back to that. Like, rest on your memory and your thoughts of what a real leader is. And take the time to ask your people, am I doing a good job? What can I do better? And really own that word. Like, I always see the word leadership thrown around all the time, and it's become the new buzzword, and everyone's a leader. Everyone's a leader. Everyone's a wellness coach. Everyone's this, that, and everything else. There can't be that many leaders and wellness coaches and everything else in this world. You just can't. But if you chose to use that word for yourself, and you choose to be a leader and tell yourself as a leader, then do it. Like, do it. Be the best be the best leader that you can be. And because that way it leaves no doubt in anyone's mind that you're doing your job. And it's that simple.
Yeah, something I often think of, life is leadership. When you're looking for the real leader, look at how they live. Look at signs of leadership in their life. You know, I think being a parent is the ultimate opportunity to be a leader. How we lead our kids. And I had this conversation with Chloe, our oldest, last night in bed, and she's having a tough time in school. And she said to me, this breaks my heart, she said, "Mommy, I just feel safer at home. I feel safer," because we create that kind of environment for our kids. And it's this tricky balance of having them out in the world and being able to live in the world but not be of that, right? Like it's our responsibility as their parents to lead them to have to know who they are. And you're right. I mean, homeschooling rocks. I'm not a homeschooling mom for sure, but I believe that we have the ultimate opportunity in our homes to practice leadership. And I know in my own team, you know, the majority of the women that I tend to attract into my business are moms because I am a mom. They know that I know them, right? So the majority of the leaders, the true leaders on our team, they have kids, or they've been in that school of life for a while, you know, where they have learned that, and trust me, trying to motivate a child is the ultimate task. When you learn what works for your kids, you've just learned how to lead a team.
Just when Andrew's saying that too about being a leader and everything else, like one of the main things too I find is if you're going to take that role, then don't be afraid to show your vulnerability to people, because everyone's human. I think again we get so caught up in, like, you look at someone and you think, wow, they're a leader, they're perfect, everything else, but usually it's the ones that are like that have had some point in their life where they were vulnerable and they share it with you and they make it known, like, hey, I didn't get here just because I'm awesome and this was given to me. A true leader is someone that shows their vulnerability and can relate to everyone else. Like, again, too many times you see it out here where everyone lives this perfect life and it's like, well, you can't be like that. I could sit here and do my own periscope and everything else about how brutal I am in life and how just, my vulnerabilities in life and everything. And that's why, but with that, I take a look at it and think, okay, I can be better here. I can do this better. And it's a process. No one's just born a leader. That never, ever happens. You have to go through life. You have to experience life. You have to get knocked down. You have to get back up, get knocked down, get back up. That's what makes a leader. And you show your people underneath you and the people that you're leading that you're vulnerable and you're susceptible to becoming someone that, yeah, I've been there, I've done that, now I can rise above it. Now I'm going to show you how to do it, if you need the help.
Love it, babe. Nothing to add. Mic drop. All right. So let me see if there's any other topics on here. Someone asked what's in my smoothie. Cup of almond milk, 2 scoops of doTERRA's trim shake for protein, 2 cups of spinach, 2 drops of lemon, and half a banana. It's pretty much my daily blend. All right. Any other questions? I'll stay on for 5 more minutes. Any questions for Chris? Well, he's on. He's not always here. So for those of you that don't know, Chris is a full-time firefighter. So he's like in the real life kind of leadership, where lives are on the line kind of leadership, right? So,
but again, it's one of those things where it's not just me. Like, it takes about 16 of us at one call to make everything work right. And there's not one person that just steps up and takes that role. Like, we all have our role. We all play our part. So it's not as if I'm some guy that's running into burning buildings by himself and saving the world. Like, we all play a role in that, and that's the biggest team and baddest team that I've ever been a part of. So
you're bad.
Well,
infrared sauna is getting hooked up tomorrow. We have an electrician coming over, so expect to see lots of posts from me on using the infrared. Did I use oils internally when pregnant? No, I didn't, because I didn't have doTERRA when I was pregnant. However, I probably wouldn't, because I'm not looking to cleanse my body while I'm pregnant, right? And I'm not pregnant, don't worry. But I use oils internally on a daily basis now. I have for almost 5 years. So daily, daily I add either the metabolic blend, Slim and Sassy, which is probably the most least understood blend doTERRA has. It's incredible. Or I'll do a citrus oil, 2 drops in about 750 Swell bottle. I have a few Swell bottles, don't I?
100.
And I have 4 of those a day. I take 8 drops of oil internally a day, spread throughout the day, and then of course in my Lifelong Vitality supplements, that's what makes doTERRA supplements super unique, is the fact that they do have essential oils in them. So absolutely, I attribute it to a rapider system for cleansing, and I feel incredible using oils internally. It's not for everybody. Some of you won't feel comfortable doing that, but I think as you get more experience using oils topically and aromatically, you'll move into the internal end. Hormonal balancing. Have you checked out, so doTERRA has the phytoestrogen complex, which is amazing. I take one every night, and the bone nutrient complex. I take them together at night before bed. And then daily, what you'll likely want to do is use the Clary Calm Roller. Looks like this. It has Vitex, geranium, fennel, clary sage, lavender, and bergamot. And what I like to do is I'll just like roll it below my belly button, uterus area daily to help bring the body more into balance. Hey Steph, she said you have a lot of social media avenues. What do you suggest to do? A personal page, biz page, or combine the two? And when your biz is at silver level. So I think when a leader is at silver, about to go silver in doTERRA, that's the time to really step into that leadership. Especially if you have a goal of being a diamond leader, you're likely going to want to create your own hub for your team. If you plan to stay at silver for quite a while, you might want to just continue to plug people into whatever Facebook group your upline has. But if you see yourself as diamond and therefore you are acting as a diamond today, you're going to create the vision for that now. So you might create a group as a hub. So in terms of a page versus a group, so I have my Whole Fit brand page, right? And then I have my personal Facebook, which you guys are on right now. And the reason that I'm streaming this today on my personal profile is because I thought it was a conversation that could serve really anybody, talking about this time of year and how we're feeling with our resolutions and goals, right? But usually I stream from within a group. So I have my Whole Fit page, my personal page, and then I have a lot of groups. I use groups to build community. So I have a private business builder group where we have about 3,000 people doing doTERRA as a business on our team globally. Then I have an essential oil Facebook group, which has almost 10,000 people in it globally. They're just our essential oil user community. And then I have even more groups set up for specific ranks. So we have a high level leadership group with just silvers and above. So it has about 60 people in it. And then anytime I launch programs, I do groups like my Ready, Set, Glow Detox. Many of you are in that. So we have a private group for that. So I think groups are the best thing to do if you want visibility and to create a very powerful community. See ya.
UPS.
UPS, always on the daily. A page is what a lot of you will have if you have a brand, okay? Because it's going to create that just brand awareness, but not everyone's going to see your posts on a page. So you got to kind of just decide what your goal is. Okay, cool. So Slim and Sassy is doTERRA's metabolic blend. It's in my bathroom right now because I put it on every single day. Do I have one in here? No, I don't have a bottle in my office right now. I was going to show it to you, but it's a metabolic blend because it has cinnamon and ginger and peppermint and citrus in it. So it's very cleansing on the body. So I keep it in my bathroom because every day when I get out of the shower, I either add it to doTERRA's plain body lotion or fractionated coconut oil. I add 2 to 3 drops and I massage it into my skin. I have pretty incredible skin for my age. I'm 37, turning 37 in about a month. And I apply it every day. I dry brush my skin daily before the shower. When I get out, I apply the metabolic blend in a carrier to my skin because it penetrates the skin and it helps release toxins that are blocking fat release. So if you have areas of your skin, honestly, give this a try. A lot of women collect pockets of fat in their thighs. So what you can try doing is dry skin brushing before your shower. Well, thank you, Ashley. And when you get out, apply 2 drops of Slim and Sassy diluted in coconut oil or in lotion and apply to your skin topically. Like I said, I take it internally daily. I take between 2 to 4 drops internally. They also come as soft gels, very cleansing on the body. If you are somebody who is reaching for foods that are not serving you, let's say 3 o'clock hits and you find yourself going through the drive-thru for a coffee and a muffin, try adding 2 drops of Slim and Sassy. It's called Smart and Sassy in Canada and in Australia. They must think our goals are to be smarter, not slimmer. Why not have both? And add it to your water and tell me what happens. Because usually when you are thinking you're hungry, you're actually thirsty. And I guarantee you this blend will get you over that hub. It's incredible. I can't handle more than 2 drops. Some people will take up to 5 drops. But it is a game changer, you guys. If you gave it a month of doing that in the afternoon, you will release weight. You will feel more cleansed. Your skin will glow. You'll find your body starting to release, okay? It's also great to take for traveling because it's going to be something you could spray on, travel seats. It's like, it would be like having On Guard with you. It's just, it's one of those like super universal oils. You can diffuse it to cleanse the air, okay? So it's amazing. Make sure you try it. I saw a question on here I was going to answer. What was it? Dry skin brush. Dry skin brush, if you go to WholeFit, I have a shop page that links you to Amazon. You can see the brand that I have. You just want to buy a natural bristled brush. Someone asked about, do you have to brand yourself to become a diamond? No. What you do need to be prepared for, a lot of times people think, oh, it's just so easy to grow online because people like myself or Haley Hobson or people you see online have built this business. People assuming that it was something we just did, when we started doTERRA, but you have to be prepared to either build your community before doTERRA or during, and it will take years to build an audience and to nurture that audience and your brand. So a lot of you will create a brand as you become clearer on who you are and who you want to help in this journey. Because for those of you building a doTERRA business, you likely know this already. Helping people in this way is one of the most meaningful forms of service, in my opinion, because our world is hurting. Our healthcare system is broken, and people are desperately seeking healing in one of several areas, physically, emotionally. For some, it's financial healing that they're seeking. And you have an opportunity as a doTERRA leader, as a wellness advocate, to offer that to people. And you'll notice that you start to become, you start to attract a certain person because of your story, which might lead you to create a brand along the way. But it's not essential. You don't have to have a page and a website and all that. In fact, if you go to WholeFit, it's pretty barbaric. I created my website on Blogger like 8 years ago. And I almost can't be bothered to make some changes. I met with a team locally and we're going to work on it this year, but it hasn't been a high priority for me because I love the community we can build through channels like Facebook. It's where people want to be today. So you don't need to spend all this money, but what you do want to do is get clear on your message and who you want to help, because you have the ultimate opportunity to help people if you're building in doTERRA. Thanks, Jill. Jill's posting the link to the dry brush, some dates on the next cleanse. Would I brand myself as my business name or my own name? When I started growing doTERRA, I was under Ange Peters and I incorporated. So I have WholeFit Inc. is if you enroll with me, that's what you would see, is your upline is WholeFit Inc. But I only did that when I incorporated. All right, gotta go. Amy, I see you're on Periscope. I'm calling you next, babe. At what level did I incorporate? So I incorporated this past year. I was I was already presidential. I recommend incorporating right now if you have a goal of making more than $100,000 a year. Just do it now. Just get your systems in order. It was a huge process, a huge learning curve for me to incorporate and to start seeing myself as an employee of WholeFit. It was weird, and all the things that come with that. But, you know, it was great learning, and I feel very responsible in my finances now. All right, let's peace out for today. So I won't be on next week with you because I will be on a plane. But we'll be back on the following week. I'll do some scopes from Florida. We're going back with the kids. And I so appreciate you guys hanging out live today. Great conversation. I love hearing what you have to share on this topic around getting your mojo back third week into the new year, right? So go back and listen to the recording if you'd like some helpful tips on how to make those shifts and really take ownership of where you are and where you're going. And Sean. All right. Lots of love, you guys. We'll see you in a couple weeks.